Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you today? Welcome to the live session. Hello again. Welcome to the review session tonight. And please, if you can hear me, just type "you can hear me" in the comment section, and Okay, I think that you guys can hear me properly. I welcome you all to this another live session with me, and then tonight we'll be reviewing the ideation module of the online classes you have been going through. I want to believe that classes have been awesome, and then you are doing your best to make sure that you plan properly for your business. One thing I want you to know is that this initiative is actually to help your business grow more and greatly. So, okay, so this evening we will be talking basically on the ideation module of the classes. And like I was saying, why we are taking time to take you all through these classes is because we believe so much that business development is the key to your success in business. You have to properly define your business. And lots of people actually start businesses without going through this process, and then they make a lot of mistake while in business. Mistakes that they could simply have avoided on paper, designing and making sure that things are properly planned out. So it is important that you plan out your business, and then you don't, because you have a skill, think that when you go into business you are going to succeed without proper plans, because skill is just one aspect of your business. In the last I think on the WhatsApp group I've been reviewing to people, from one of the reviews I made mention that in business you need business made up of three resources basically: the intellectual resources, the capital resources, and the human resources. So you'll see that your skill or your ability to do something is just one skill or one resources needed in the whole of a business. So you can be good at what you do as a skill, maybe as a graphic designer or as a makeup artist or as a shoemaker, but then you still require a good business structure. You still need to understand how the market system works, what the market is saying, what the market share is available for your business or for your skills, and then know how to enter into the market and monetize that skill. You would agree with me that there are a whole lot of people that have skills out there, and then you begin to wonder why these people do not succeed in life, and they are so good, so talented, and then you keep wondering why this talent is not taking them to places. So there is this space of you building your personality as a person, and that's one of the reasons we went through the entrepreneurship religion course at first, and then secondly now building your business. Okay, now in the space of building your business you have to understand your customer and who the customer basically is, like your exact customer, and that is what this model is about. So instead of going all out with the skill that you have to form a business, you have to first identify a starving need. One of my mentors, role model, Akin Alabi, will say you have to identify a starving need in the market first. What do people really want? People don't care about what you do until they see that you care about them. You have to realize this. You have to know that this is what the people want. In our world today, you have seen a whole lot that plays in the entertainment industry. Okay, so I was having a review with my team some weeks ago, and then we were talking about how much people, okay, how much people love to see, or how much emotions is driven when things fall apart, or when I really don't know how to. Let me give you an example about Bill Gates and Melinda Gates divorce. Now, when Bill Gates and Melinda Gates were together, if Bill Gates releases a video of himself or how he does the business, you would see that the number of people who see that video are very minimal compared to the number of people who have seen the reason or the divorce video or something. So you will see that it is basically what people want. There are lots of people that need this class that are not here right now because they basically do not see the need, or probably have not really seen the need to do so. But then let something happen, maybe entertainment, or something that has to do with the bad news, or something that has to do with um, um, rape, sex, and what of any of those things, and then you see a lot of views online. So it is not about what you want in the market. That's why we mentioned that customer is king. Right about now, I would like you to drop your question. So if you see, all right, on the screen, you have what we talk about, the three circles of what a business stands for. You have desirability, you have viability, and you have feasibility. Now, where it says you should start from desirability. How much is your business or your product, how desirable is it in the market? That is where you should start from before we even look at, is this thing that I want to give to the market, how visible is it to come by, and then what is the feasibility of making this progress. Now, I'll talk about the other two, then I'll dwell on desirability because that is where we are going to now. Viability means how possible is this thing that you want to do? How possible is your business venture? Is your idea? How possible is it going to come to life? All right. Now, while feasibility means what are the elements that will make it come to life? Feasibility talks about the market. All right. How do you enter into the market? What is the number of market available out there? And then how do people want this thing out there? So that's the feasibility. To me, feasibility basically also entails structuring your business, models, markets, and all. Viability talks about the operations. How do you bring about this thing to life? Now, that's what it is. But you see, in these three circles, for you to have a business venture, a profitable and sustainable business venture, you must start first from desirability. Even if your product or your skill is feasible and it is doable, and then you have all the resources to make it work. If it is not desirable, then you do not have a business. Take it or leave it. You do not have a business. So first things first is desirability. How desirable is your product or your skill in the marketplace? Okay, and so that is why we are talking about and looking into the customer. What does the customer want? If you have checked all that is required of you on the ideation module and it talks about the customers, then you would know that customer is king in your business. Not to say that customers are always right, against the general saying, customers are not always right. Please always note this. Customers are not always right, and you will see reasons, a whole lot of things. And that is because you also need to design your ideal customer. Design your ideal customer. Like, you need to find who your customer is. Okay, so if you find the right customer, then you won't have to say customer is always right when they are wrong. Okay, so basically, like I said, I can see your comments. Ask your comments in the comment sections. I would read, ask your questions rather in the comment sections. I'll read them out and I'll try as much as possible to do justice to them. There are some of the questions that have been asked on the platform as well, and then we'll go through. But basically, we'll be talking about, like I said, customer persona. So, what is customer persona? How do you design a comprehensive customer persona for you to understand? There are various resources that have been shared with you through the links from the platform, and please make sure you try as much as possible to make do with all of those resources that have been shared. So a customer persona talks about your ideal customer. As seen on the shared screen, you can see a buyer persona. It talks about where do you start from. Starter questions, and then this is basically you defining who your ideal customer is, right? Who is your ideal customer? And excuse me. So you're talking about the personal info of the customer. You have to define your customer to the brink, like to the very details of everything that you need that your customer should be. That way you are able to channel whatever solution you have for them. It's you fashioning out a solution to their problem. So you want to know who has this problem, what age, okay, and range are these people in this location, what gender they are. For instance, if for the sanitary pad industry, you know that the basic gender for sanitary pad are female, and then the female within the age range of 13 or so, yeah, we have females who from 13 have started menstruating, and down to the age of 45, 50, well, I don't know where menopause starts and all of that. But you see that we have a gender, we have an age bracket. And so it governs whatever you're going to do as a business, your marketing strategies, how you position yourself for this set of people who make the buying decisions to be able to make that decision and buy your product or go for your services. You want to talk about the marital status as well. The marital status here is very, very important, because a single guy who is used to buying your drink, either a beer or a soft drink, when he gets married, his income, part of his income is going to go into catering for his family. And so it means that it may actually drop buying from your brand. Okay, so you want to talk about their marital status, you want to talk about what kind of income that is coming in for them, and then how much of this income they are willing to give out. Recall also that I made mention on the group that there are three basic type of customers, and then you should know the one to focus on. One are people who are willing to buy, but they are not able to buy. People who are willing to buy, but they are not able to buy. What does that mean? It means that they desire your products, but they do not have the capacity to buy. Now, capacity can also come in two forms. You see that your product is not easily accessible by them. For instance, in Nigeria, we have people who can afford the Tesla self-driving car or electric cars. They are willing to buy it, but they are not able to buy it because we do not have the facilities that this car needs to operate in Nigeria. So you see, they have the desire to buy, but the resources available for that product to function are not there. Or rather, they cannot easily access the product. For instance, I'll give an example also with this payment platform, PayPal. You see that a lot of times Nigerians try to register on PayPal. They are willing to register, and PayPal gets commission from whatever comes through them, but they are not able because it is not accessible in this part of the country. Well, we hope very soon that It will be. Now, that is an example of people who are willing to buy, but they are not able to buy. Also, their inability to buy can come from their income. Okay, so there are lots of things you are willing to buy, you want to buy, you so desire, but you do not have the capacity, the capital requirements to actually get this thing. So that's the first set of people. The second set of people are people who are able to buy, but they are not willing to buy, right? They do not desire your products. They have the money, they have the resources, everything is working that they can use your product, but they do not desire it. They don't want it. Now, the third set of people are people who are willing to buy and also are able to buy your product. And these are the set of people you must find. When you find them, it's like a gold mine. They continually keep buying your product, and then all you need to do is just constantly to stay in their face, keep giving them that value, and then they will stay loyal to you as much as you care about them and keep improving and keep innovating on that product. So you want to talk about their professional information, their job title, their career path. Yes, because all of these things actually speaks volume. For instance, you have products for people who work in the bank. Now you realize that these people who work in the bank, bankers basically spend their whole day and whole time in the bank. So they're in the bank from 7:30 a.m. or 7 a.m. to like 5, 6 p.m. in the evening. They work from Mondays to, most times they even work on Saturdays because they have to audit and all of balance their accounts and all of that. Even sometimes on Sundays. And then you have a product out there that is on the street, okay? And the time you market your products are within 8 a.m. in the morning and 5 p.m. at night. It means that a typical banker cannot see your product on the street. So where is the best places to hit them? Online, basically. Now, online, if you go to banks, would have observed one way or the other that as a cashier on the desk is doing something, you'll see one, what's it called, a link open, Facebook. Most usually bankers use Facebook because, well, they may not be able to properly use Twitter and Instagram well because they are at work. They just peep into Facebook and come out, peep into Facebook and come out, sometimes peep into Twitter and come out. So you know that for bankers, the best ways to reach them are through Facebook advertisement. So if your customers are bankers, for instance, you are into selling ties or suits or shoes, okay, these are the best platforms to use to reach out to your customers. Outside conference environments where they also go for trainings and all of that, or even meeting with an influencer in the banking industry, maybe they are bank manager, you meet with the bank manager and introduce your product. So you see that defining even the profession of your customer goes a long way in helping your sales, okay? So you talk about the values they are trying to achieve in their life and their fears as well. You would have seen from all the templates that's given on the platform, you have pain triggers and gain triggers where you begin to create value preposition for your customers. What do they value in their personal or professional life? They value probably their spiritual life. They go to church, they go to mosques, they value their sporting life, their health, they value their family, they go to event centers, they go to recreation centers to have fun. This can also govern, they can also help you properly position your business. You want to talk about what objective might they have? What are they trying to achieve in life? And what drives their decision-making process? Like you recall from where we talked about the story of Bola. Now, Bola gave birth to Rita, and then Rita has a need, but who makes the decision for the family to buy a diaper? It is Bola that makes that decision, even if the money is not coming from her. For instance, in your homes, your mom makes the food decisions, right? Your dad drops the money, your mom makes the food decision. So it will be wasteful of me to go and start advertising tomatoes, pepper to more to daddies, because they basically do not make that decisions, okay? So you want to know what drives their decision-making process. All right. What objectives might they have? Like I said, what is important to them? You want to talk about their negative info. Are there customers you don't want? You also want to define what kind of customers you don't want. Now, several people have asked me on the group how to reject, how to identify bad customer. It's also about you designing a bad customer personnel. A bad customer is somebody who does not fit into your personnel, somebody who is not tech. If you are into the tech industry or digital space and you're selling digital products, and your bad customer will be somebody who does not have a phone that can access internet. So if your customer, the person is buying from you and can't access internet, where probably you have solutions, continuous solution, or you have a platform where you have maintenance tips, where when they use your product and it's getting bad, they can go there to have maintenance tips. If somebody who got your product does not have access to that, they will always come back and keep calling you and complaining about your product. It means they are bad customers to you, and you do not need to waste much energy on those set of people. So in the first place, design a proper customer personnel for your business, and you will be able to eradicate a lot of bad customers as possible. What is the goals and challenges? What are their personal career goals? What challenges impact, or impact achieving this goal? What challenges impact achieving these goals? How could you help? How can you help them achieve their goal? Okay, like I said, for the bankers, you are helping them dress properly to the office. If you are selling suits, or you're selling ties and shoes and all of that, that is one thing you are helping them achieve. So there are lots of business ventures that could actually really go right and properly profitable and sustainable if you sit down to first design a proper customer personnel for that. So I would want to see some questions. If we have questions already flowing in, let me see them. Please type in the comment section, and then I will attend to them properly as need be. Okay, so again, we want to look at some other things that are associated with designing a proper customer personnel. All right, you defining the problem. Okay, now that is basically your empathy. First, when defining the customer's problem, after identifying the industry that you want to go into business and dealing with, we said that your design thinking process takes you through empathy, definition stage, the ideation stage, the prototyping stage, and the testing stage. Then you go ahead to implement. Okay, if you will not realize that after implementing when you are testing, you go back to iterate. If you see that all of these things have the arrow pointing back to one, if your empathy statement is not right, your definitions, you cannot properly define the question, the problem, so you go back to empathize, and then you ideate, and then you prototype. So empathizing means you putting yourselves in the customer's shoes, basically being emotional. What do they feel? Okay, what do they feel about this problem? And then how can you help them solve it? Is from seeing it from their own point of view. That is basically being in their shoes. So when you are empathizing, you want to talk about who you are empathizing with, who is the customer that you are empathizing with, and then who is the customer you're empathizing with? Who are we empathizing with? Who is the person we want to understand? Now, what is their goals? What do they need to do? Now, empathy means what do they hear? What do they see? What are they saying? What are they doing? Your customer. So you want to be in their space and imagine that you are the customer. How are they feeling? What do they fear? And what are they hoping for? that this will happen. Now, if you look at this template, it's also given to you on the platform. Please use it carefully and define in defining the problem from the customer's perspective. That is what empathy helps you do. Now, in defining the problem of the customer, you basically talk about, I'm sure I basically talked about the Javelin experiment board, which is one thing that you need to use while designing the customer problem. Also, the Javelin experiment board and okay, let me share that with us. Okay, your Javelin experiment board is right there. Now, what this helps you do is to define the problem. Who is your customer? Be as specific as possible. Now, that is the Javelin experiment board is the other tool used in hand with your design thinking tools. So your design thinking tool is also a simplified, a more elaborate Javelin experiment board. So you are trying to carry out an experiment, just like the scientific method taught in biology is a systematic approach. You are systematically approaching and investigating an inquiry that arises from an observed natural phenomenon. So you have observed the situation, and then you are being specific what the situation is, and then you are saying what is the problem. Phrase it from your customer's perspective. That is you empathizing at this stage. You empathize. Now you can list as many. You can see at the other end of the Javelin experiment board, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can get a sticky note. My advice is that you print this out on an A3 paper as big as possible. If you can't print it out, you can have a big sheet of paper and draw it out and write out all of these things. Then get a sticky note. Now, in each of these segments, you have who your customers is. Like I said, your the children, adults, and teenagers, then you have to divide them accordingly. So you can put them accordingly on 1, 2, 3. Then what is the problem? Define the problem exactly for that specific customer. So I'm still taking the noodles industry for instance. You have small packs for children. Now define the problem of those small packs. That's why you see in those small packs you have what they call stickers. Especially in Indomie noodles, you have stickers in them because they want to appeal to the children. And when you buy this, you have a small sticker. So those children are always disturbing their mommy. Mommy, buy this particular product for me. If you check inside the big belly food, you will not see a sticker there, right? Because adults do basically need these things. So that is because they properly define each of their customer segments and how their products serve them. Each of them have a different problem entirely. You would agree with me that the kid might not actually be hungry, but they just want to eat noodles. But the adults basically eat because they are hungry, right? So you see that there are different problems entirely. Now, you also want to define the solution only after you have validated a problem worth solving. Just like we talked about, after you have to define, you have to validate that the problem is worth solving using your, from the empathy map. Once you have designed a solution, then you take it down to the charts where you can divide your problem into most difficult and easy, difficult and not easy, the chart as shown in the videos that you have seen on the academy. And then you want to now validate the problem by asking. Now, you recall that we talked about assumption, okay? First, you assume the problem from your own view. Okay, I think be the one to say, yes, we do, we have this problem. Now, one way to do that is actually carrying out an experiment. Give out a questionnaire out there, make research, and then when making your research, you say you want, in determining how you will test your market, the least expensive way to test my assumption is, and then when you are doing the assumption with the least amount of data and core to the viability of my hypothesis. All right, you have made an hypothesis that, okay, my customer has this problem. This is the hypothesis, right? Now, you want to now run an experiment saying, I will run an experiment with 100 set of people to find out how inside this 100 people, how many of them have this problem, okay? Now, you will now say, and I expect a strong signal from 60 of them. If I don't get 60 of them to say yes, they have this problem, then it means that the problem I assume. When you conduct an experiment and then conduct an experiment to find out if they are actually have this problem, you also find out if they want this problem solved. So you won't go ahead and waste resources solving the problem in the long run. They don't need it. These things happen all around us. We know people have problems, and then by the time you approach them to try to help them solve it, you realize that they don't even want this problem solved, right? Just like the Nigerian government, right? So, but then you want to be sure that, hey, this person has this problem, they want it to be solved. If I solve it for them, they are willing to pay for it, or they are willing to take the solution into their custody, or rather, they are willing to go by this solution. So that is that for the Javelin experiment, but how you can really design a customer personnel. So lastly, before we close up, I'm not saying any question, but I'll just try to. Okay, we have templates. Like I said, there are several templates that have been given to you on the platform. Please make good use of them to come up with a very good customer personnel that for your business. Now, okay, very good. Here we go. So here we have a very good background as to head of human resources, as to a typical customer persona. This is from HubSpot, one of the resources of HubSpot, and I'll just go briefly take you through it. How to create buyer personas for your business. Now, a buyer persona is very important for your business. Buyer personas are official and are fictional. generalized representation of your ideal customers. They help you understand your customers and prospective customers, and make it easier for you to tailor content to the specific needs, behaviors, and content of different groups. The strongest buyer personas are based on market research as well as on insights you gather from your actual customer base through survey, interviews, and etc. I'll go with that again. The strongest buyer personas are based on market research as well as on insights you gather from your actual customers, your actual customer base through surveys, interviews, etc. Asking questions. Hey, what do you think? What's the problem you have? You have to ask. Depending on your business, you could have as few as 1 or 2 personas. Yes, like I mentioned the other time. So you can have, your business could be serving more than 1 customer persona. So you have to define each of them based on age group, their profession, or their gender. As it goes, as many as 10 or 20. Note, if you are new to personas, start small. You can always develop more personas later if needed. What this means is that you don't need to, if you know that your business or your product serve 10 different type of customers, please do not go ahead creating personas for all of them. Start with 1 or 2, all right? Then you gradually build. So you know that you are going to service number 6, but then for now, just service number 1 and 2. In fact, if possible, just service number 1. You understand a whole lot how to improve your product that it serves both number 1 and 2 and 3 at the same time. And then when you keep going on and doing business, you begin to realize that that same product, they just impute a little more element and it serves 4, 5, 6. So it serves all of them. It's just little improvement in all of these things. So it is important. What are negative personas? Whereas a buyer persona is a representation of an ideal customer, a negative or shared on the platform. And then please go ahead and digest them properly and then come out with the customer persona that is needed for your business. So I'll just take questions. If you have questions, please go ahead and ask in the comment section. I'm not seeing questions. Well, I want to believe that a lot of people understand what a customer persona is, and then you are going ahead to create your customer persona. Even if you have started a business already, this is going to really help you not waste time on doing things that should not be done, help you not waste resources, help you not waste energy, help you not waste money. Okay, it will help you come back to know your ideal customer. So even if you are 5 years, 10 years already into business and you're just coming across this for the first time, sit down and redefine your customers and reiterate, because I believe so much that what you're doing is not trying to build a business that will last 5 years or 10 years and crash. You're trying to build a business that lasts a lifetime at least, and that is sustainable and profitable, that people could come into and understand what you're doing and flow with it, even though you are not there. Okay, the title CEO is not just a title for vibes or for flexing. It is serious work, and these are the major works to be done in being an entrepreneur. So forming a business is a part of being an entrepreneur. So you have to also engage as an entrepreneur with an entrepreneurship mindset. Okay, so thank you very much. I think if I don't have questions, I will just we'll just end the session on this note. And I want to believe that everyone has gained immense value, or has been gaining immense value since they have been taking these classes. The next module is going to talk more about your business model, how to design your business model properly and serve your customer. Now, it is an advanced lesson into the solution you hope to give your customers. If you have defined a solution and you have defined a problem worth solving, rather, and created a solution, a workable solution, a viable solution, and a feasible solution. So we're going to look at the feasibility and viability of your product that is being desired out there in the next module, starting from tomorrow. Okay, so the videos will be available for you to start taking classes from tomorrow. Try as much as possible to finish every assessment that you have on ground. It is very important to the successful completion of this academy. Thank you very much to everyone who joined us tonight again on this live session. We hope we are better than last week, and then we hope to improve more. If you have suggestions, just leave them in the comment section, or you can chat in on the group, and then we will be so willing to attend to all of your questions. I believe you're having a great time. I remain Oluwaseyi Sam David, your business developer and identity coach. You can catch me up on my Instagram page at Mr. Sam David, and also on my Twitter at Mr. Sam David, and Facebook Oluwaseyi David, or rather Oluwaseyi Sam David. And then you have my contact. You can reach out to me as well, and then I will see what I can do to help your business grow, at least till this program ends. Thank you very much on behalf of my team. We appreciate you joining this session. See you next week.